Zels, I know you want to talk about Wilco Low, but firstly, I know this is a rugby show, but it's also, we're all sports people. Ryan Freder did a lot of rugby writing, outstanding cricketer.
Athlete
of note. Good-looking guy as well. He's getting on a bit in years, though. He used to be one of the stalwarts of Avondale Cricket Club. He's now playing a bit of thirds, okay? Occasionally seconds. I see every now and again when they need to bring out the big gun, he still does stroll into the first team for something. Got out for 22 last weekend, and I gave him a little bit of a dressing down.
Oh.
I gave him a dressing down. Unacceptable behavior on his part. He got out for 22, playing out in Milnerton. And lo and behold, on Saturday night, he sent me the scorecard. Ryan Freder, 129 not out off 110 balls. Plenty sixes, plenty fours. And this is a guy who was schooled in first-class cricket in terms of playing two-day cricket, playing three-day cricket. For him to go out there and blast that way. Well done, Mr. Freder.
Well done, Slugger.
Well done, Slugger.
Fantastic.
A shout out to all of us there. Avondale, he's doing great things in the community, is Ryan. We do miss your rugby columns, though.
We do. He's waving the flag for all us 32-year-olds, mate.
All us 32-year-olds. Okay, outside of him, I know the one you want to talk about, Wilco Low.
Wilco Low. That should rhyme with, I should come up with something. I haven't. Wilco Low, what a fantastic test for the Springboks at Twickenham. Delivered everything that we thought he would at the scrum. You could see after that first one, Ellis Genge was ready to go home. I think I tweeted about it. I said, I think Ellis Genge just remembered he left the stove on and the plug in the bath with the tap running. So I thought Wilco was outstanding at scrum time. Definitely proved that he belongs in the box setup. And he was one of 23 players who actually played well on the day. But it was a weird performance. It's another one of those wins. There's another one of those Bok wins where we go, well, there were some great moments in there, but you're not really sure about the quality of the performance.
Who cares? Who cares?
True that.
It was imperfect, I think I wrote in the Sunday Times, but it was also bloody good.
That was a great column, mate. What does it mean?
Bit of a Jekyll and Hyde performance.
What does it mean?
What does it mean, eh? Just words.
Just words,
Just
mate.
words, mate. Just words. 29-20 to the Boks. Any win against England's a great win, especially at Twickenham, now known as the Ali Hans Stadium.
Yes.
We both felt the Boks went comfortably. They did. You and I were split on, I think you had the All Blacks to win by 6. I had France to win by 6. It came down to a 1-point game. Fantastic occasion in Paris.
Yes.
The respect that was shown to the anthems, to the haka, the way they do that in Paris. As our good mate Freda said to me, everything about Paris at 9 o'clock on a sporting weekend is theatre. He said from the haka to the anthems to the actual match, it was just 2 hours of absolute theatre. Because I asked him, what do you think of the game? He said, entertaining.
Yeah.
They came to entertain.
Truth.
Technically not great. Ball control not great.
Truth.
A lot of the basics not done well, but a hell of an 82 minutes.
For a neutral, superb.
Wonderful for the game of rugby. Then we look, Friday night it all started. Dublin, Ireland against Argentina. Again, to remind people from last week, we wanted Argentina to win. They've never won in Dublin. My point was, mentally, do they think they can win in Dublin? And I felt that it took them a good while to realize we're actually better than the side at the moment. We should be winning this game. And many say they should have won that game.
There are a couple of Irishmen, mate, who said, very happy with the win, but it felt like a loss.
Exactly. 22-19 to Ireland. Argentina's certainly shown their improvements this year. They really have had a very good year in terms of the consistency that Philippe Contaponi is getting them. Georgia, well, they went down to Italy 2017, a cracker of a game. I know you tuned into that one. 17-6 up at one stage was Georgia. And then...
I just watch for the beards, mate.
Yeah. And for those, or the after party, what did you say? Italy against Georgia.
Can you imagine?
Imagine those families look. And then Sunday, I watched the game with Ollie. Wales against Australia. It was one of those games that I was up and downstairs, upstairs, looking after Pike. And every time I'd say to him, bit of a shit game, eh? And he's thinking, you're hardly watching it.
You weren't wrong though, mate.
19-0 to Australia early on, and then
unwatchable.
A great comeback from Wales. Gareth Anscombe, that Welshman, New Zealand born and raised, New Zealand under 20. Did you know that he played in that World Championship under 20 side? Fly off, Bowden Barrett was fullback, but they beat England in Italy, and his dad, Mark Anscombe, was the coach.
One they let get away. Wow.
Another one they let go. And that winner for Wales, also New Zealand, born and raised.
Incredible.
Heritage.
Heritage, mate. There you
So,
have it. Wow.
Australia 52, Wales 20.
Turgid game.
On Australian side, they took 67 points in Argentina just a couple of months ago. 52 points. They look like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Mate, they look like world beaters. Incredible. I mean, when Tommy Wright is scoring a hat-trick against you, mate.
Okay, Tommy Wright, I think, is a wonderful player.
What?
Wonderful player.
Yes.
You tell me that he wouldn't make Hammy's thirds. I don't even know Hammy still had a third.
Mate, Hammies have got, I think they've got a 29-year-old playing fullback there. He keeps Tommy Wright out of the team. I don't know. Tommy Wright, he tries hard. Tries his best.
I don't even think he had to try against
That's
Wales.
the truth.
Intercept,
Jeez.
wonderful try at the end, 3 tries. Who else got the hat-trick for them?
Matt Fassler. I think he's got a full-time job somewhere else too. He scored a hat-trick.
Does he own a car wash or something?
He owns a car wash.
He owns a car wash. 52-20 though. I mean, I was watching Warren Gatland on those times I was coming up the stairs, glancing at Ollie, kind of on his phone watching. He did make some money out of on the e-bets. I told him a win for Australia, definitely. I 35-23 was my score. And I didn't realize that I was going to undersell it by about 50%. Okay? But yeah, so Warren Gatland's just slumping in that chair more and more like this.
Well, there's nothing to say over the radio.
In the end, he was
he was lying down.
I thought they were just going to wheel him out.
Right.
11th successive defeat. Guess who's the happiest man in the world today when it comes to rugby coaches? Steve Hansen. Steve Hansen
He's not.
is no longer the holder of the record for a Welsh coach, 10 successive defeats. There's another Kiwi there. Warren Gatland, 11.
Sure.
And funny enough, Hansen was one of the more successful coaches with Wales. Won them Six Nations, won them big games, and then had this terrible record, 10 in a row. Gatland, the Messiah over there, I think he won 3 Six Nations for them. 11 in a row, and it's not going to get better.
Oh, it's not going to get better, mate.
11 in a row, and the world champions are coming to town.
Mate, it's going to get
Santa Claus are coming to town.
Yep. It's going to get wild this weekend, I think. I'm expecting Rassie to pick an experimental team, but it doesn't really matter who he plays.
And just to wrap it up, thanks, that's the show. Just to wrap it up, Portugal, Scotland.
Yes.
What did you think?
Mate, I did not watch 1 second of
Neither
that.
did I. I still don't even know that score. Do you know the score?
Nope.
Check it out. Who won?
Portugal won 63-7.
Okay, Portugal, Scotland. Look here. I watch Scotland once a year, and that's when they play us. Okay? That's about it. Why would I?
Exactly.
Back to the Bokke, okay? And the good news about the Bokke is you sent me a wonderful WhatsApp a bit earlier as I was getting us a nice coffee to say, you won't believe this. World Rugby, Bill Beaumont has just announced that it's over, and all of a sudden we're getting nominated for World Player of the Year.
Yes.
There's 4 nominations. There's an Irish oak called Mr. Doris.
Mr. Doris, that's correct.
He plays for number 8.
Yep, that's it.
Island captain, he's there. I don't know. I don't know why. Why do you think he's there?
he's got to be the clear favourite, mate. I mean, he plays for Ireland. Ireland were the world's number 1 ranked team.
Were.
What a player.
What? Alleged. Alleged.
Yeah, indeed.
You know that alleged story
No?
with when Johan Leroux bit Sean Fitzpatrick's ear? And we were in England and in New Zealand and Wellington at midnight. A press conference was called. I think it was the Park Inn Hotel. And Jannie Engelbrecht, who was then the manager, he addressed us, and he was in his grey suit trousers, no shoes, no socks, white open collared shirt, hammered, absolutely hammered. He'd been drinking wine all night, and Jan de Koen, I think, was on tour back then, a guy who's now at 365, and he used to write for SAPA. And he said, we hear about the alleged Johan Leroux ear biting incident. And Yanni was, alleged! I like that word, alleged!
So put some ear in his mouth.
So everything after that became alleged, okay? So, yeah. Mr. Doris, allegedly one of the stars, but 3 South Africans.
Peter Steff.
Peter Steff Dutoit. Peter Steff Dutoit. Cheslin Colby. Cheslin Colby. And Eben Etzebeth. 130 test matches.
Make your pick.
Oh, jeez, man.
Make your pick, matey. Let the people know.
Peter Steff Dutoit.
Really?
He's won nearly every man of the match this year. If I'm going by like, you win it because you have so many player of the MVPs.
Yeah.
I would never go behind him at the moment. But what a pick
What a
between all
lineup.
three. I
What
mean,
a lineup.
Colby getting recognition, the consistency he's shown, and Eben has just been colossal. Colossal. But, Peter Steph du Toit must be one of the greatest ever forwards that have ever played the game.
He's been absolutely superb.
Give me your pick.
He's got his timing right, mate, playing for this particular Boks team. I think Peter Steph du Toit and Cheslin probably on the short list.
You don't think
for
Eben?
me. I think Eben's had a fantastic season. I think he's well deserved to be there. But these two guys, Cheslin and Peter Steph du Toit, are just having a good season. Like they've been spectacular, for some time.
So who are you picking?
I'm probably going to go with Cheslin, mate. I'm probably going to go with Cheslin.
Do you know what my gut tells me that it's going to be him? Okay, you asked me who my pick would be.
Don't backtrack, mate.
No,
no fudging it.
My pick would be Peter Steph du Toit.
You said off air. You actually said Kalen Doris, but I'll let you get away with it.
That's fine as well. That was for that off the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
That was for my Irish insert.
My family's from Cork.
Yeah, and the one I do for New Zealand is like I can't believe
I can't believe you don't
Artie
watch
Severe's not there, mate.
Exactly.
And Sam Kane.
Yeah.
So all three of those guys, any one of those three,
Absolutely.
deserving to be World Player of the Year.
Yep.
I know Doris has been one of the stalwarts for Ireland, but if you're thinking of impact and just significant moments, you would have to think Cheslin or Peter Steph.
I think so.
And you're talking about punters and entertainers and what they remember. You remember the Peter Steph du Toit moments consistently, and you remember the Cheslin Colby moments. It's incredible that how few tests Cheslin Colby has actually played. But you remember every one of them because there's always a contribution. He's always doing something.
Well, his speciality is making people miss, and that's why a lot of people watch rugby, so they remember it.
What did Sonny Bull Williams say on social media about Cheslin Colby? Every big fella's nightmare.
I love that. Well, he got past Jamie George like he wasn't even there.
Every big fella's nightmare.
Yeah.
That's step and go. And
Yeah.
the one thing I was watching the highlights with Ollie last night over and over, and how Cheslin Colby's knees have managed to stay so strong because how exaggerated that step is and how incredible it is. So the conditioning, the genetic makeup of him. What a blessed player. And I keep on going back to him being another example of a player who left South Africa for a new challenge and where the world wasn't going to be spooked by perceived size. And he went to Toulouse, and the making of Cheslin Colby, the test player, happened in Toulouse. He was given the confidence, he was given freedom to play. And you talk about Peter Steph du Toit playing in the right environment, the right era. Right player at the right time.
Very, very much so.
Cheslin Colby, Toulouse, right club, right time.
100%.
The making of him.
100%.
When he went to Toulon, very different. Very different type of team, very different culture. They're a mercenary team. Toulouse is like so much homegrown talent, and then they bring in one or two superstars.
Yeah.
Colby being one of them, and he's just been outstanding. But again, that fact, like I think he said in a quote in a media interview the other day, a lot of people are surprised that I haven't played 50 tests yet. He only started playing for the Boks when Rassie plucked him.
Correct.
From France.
Correct.
But he was outstanding. He was
Been
obviously
phenomenal.
outstanding against England. He likes playing England.
I mean, who doesn't? Speaking about likes playing England, Jasper Wiese, mate. He had a cracking game.
Just wait. Did you just say that Jasper Wiese had a cracking game?
He had a crack. Mate, I think Jasper thought he was back in bloom. He looked so comfortable on the field. I think maybe it's because he knows these guys from the Prem. He just ran over guys. That's the best I think I've seen Jasper Wiese play for the Boks. He looked the part. He was fantastic.
It was like a homecoming for him.
Yeah, it very much was,
Yeah.
man. He needs to keep that up because that's the kind of stuff we need from him.
That is the Jasper you want to see.
That is the Jasper. Running through people, just dragging oaks around the pitch. I love that.
I think where you've been unfair on Jasper is that you're comparing him to Dwayne at his peak, Dwayne at his prime. And we always say it took Dwayne a good decade to play Test rugby.
Yeah, but that's not because he wasn't performing well. They just didn't pick him.
They didn't pick him, and there were a lot of other players that they felt suited the style better. But by the time Dwayne got there, I mean, he had put in over 100 first-class games, kind of done the hard yards. So give Jasper some time.
Mate, he's played quite a fair few
He has,
tests,
eh?
mate. I'd
But
like
he
to
will
see him
be
do
at
that.
his peak in 2027.
That's what I want to hear.
He's going to be a dynamo
You
in
must just keep wrecking oaks
2027.
like that. That was
So he
brilliant.
was great. But then you think again, Sia emptied the tank. What did he get? 71 minutes, eh?
Mate.
Out of Sia.
I think he gets a bonus for that. He's only contracted to play 55.
53. Peter Steph. Jasper.
Jeez, Peter
I mean,
Steph.
just what a loose trio. Eh?
But every single player, find a guy in there that didn't have a good game.
Then you look at
Or
Eben.
moments.
Look at Ergia.
Oh, jeez.
Ergia
Archie
also.
was great.
Also,
Yes.
do you think there was a little conversation between him and Rassie to
I
say,
think so, mate.
you
Tighten it up.
tighten up, mate. You also know you put it in another guy's palms when he's in a better position.
Exactly.
You don't throw the hot coals at him, mate.
Exactly, mate. I think it was way more circumspect from Archie Snyman, and the combination of him and Eben really, I mean, I know we're just talking about England at Twickenham here, but that combination really did fire.
And if we talk about England at Twickenham, and obviously depending on who you listen to, what you read, there was no loser on Saturday. The Boks were world number one.
No, mate, there
world
was a loser. It was England.
No, there wasn't. World number one, world champions, expected to go there. They scored 4 tries. They won the game. Another bonus point on tour. And England, in their minds, heroically second.
Mate.
And for that,
Brave
the
losers.
English love nothing more than coming second and feeling good about it.
The English hacks love that because they don't have to explain why they won. They can just say
5th
emotions.
successive defeat, but apparently it's the new dawn. It's the era for England rugby now. I enjoy listening to Will Greenwood.
Yes.
Great rugby player in his day, World Cup winner, and he always looks a bit pissed after the game because I know he's been drinking
love that
quite a
about
few. Yeah, and he seems to slur a bit, but I love the way he presents because it's like he's thinking as he's talking.
Yes.
Okay? And he talks a bit like that, and they remind me of he says like, the Springboks are the cool kids at school. Everyone wants to hang with, and they let in England hang with them.
I
He
love
says,
that.
and all England are sweet guys. They're never going to get the girls because the girls think they're sweet, but they just want to hang with. They just want to hang with the Boks, and he says in the Boks, let them hang, meaning they don't insult him, they don't embarrass him, they just do enough to remind them that they are the cool kids. And right now, this Bok squad are the cool kids of world rugby. They must be the most popular squad in terms of players.
in South Africa.
I think globally, they're a like team.
Yeah.
Forget the hacks around the
Yes,
world to get
yes,
angry
yes.
because of the 7-1 splits
Yeah.
or because of our use of the bench. But 2019, they became the world's most favourite team when they clobbered England 32-12, okay? Because everyone backs whoever's playing against England. 2023, just the way they won that World Cup, the kind of players that they have, they became even more popular. And Rassie, because of all his shenanigans, all his controversy, all his genius, all his madness, is the most talked about coach in rugby coach in world rugby.
Correct.
And everyone digs him in terms of commentators, opposition players, opposition coaches. So they're a popular team. And this era of Bok rugby, in the last 5 years, this is our most golden generation since the game turned professional. For consistency, 23 wins out of 27,
Not bad.
85%. The only thing that matches that is Andre Pollard's goal kicking percentage, 85%.
Yeah.
But yeah, we said that they would go there and deliver a world championship performance. And I felt it was that because they were never going to lose.
No, I don't know if I'd go that far. The result was a world championship result.
Are you telling me that you felt at times during that game that they were going to
No, I
lose
didn't think they were going to lose, but I certainly thought we were playing with our food and making it more difficult than it needed to be. I feel like if the Boks had played to their potential, picked their best team, and just been very, very structured this whole season, we would have scored probably 40 to 50 points on average per game. I like that Rassie is doing his experimenting. If he's going to do it, now is the time to do it. And in terms of the depth that we're growing, hats off to them. And we're doing it while winning, which is awesome. And I think we're going to reap the benefits of that in the future. But certainly the Boks are, I mean, we beat England by 9 points at Twickenham with a team that had 12 changes from the week before. And like, we were probably playing at 65% of our ability. I think if we went full metal jacket, full focus, we would have absolutely demolished those cats on the weekend.
Why I say to you, it was a world championship performance. A season that's into its 13th test for them in Cardiff this weekend. On top of that, a URC season, Champions Cup season. It's been long. It's been a lengthy season, big rugby championship, 5 out of 6 wins, a lot of expectation following a World Cup, a hectic World Cup campaign. So you expect moments more so than the magical formula of an 80-minute performance. So when I define world champion, world's best, they don't have to be at their best. But there's going to come moments in games that they're going to do things that you just know they're controlling the game. So when I say to you why it was a world championship performance, I knew England would be brave. I knew England would be passionate. We said Boks teams outside of that 42-6 or whatever have never gone there and destroyed them in terms of a scoreboard pressure.
Yeah.
But even at 2019, there wasn't a moment that I felt
Boks were going to lose this.
Boks were going to lose this.
No chance.
Ever. And I mean, it was excruciating at times watching that first hour.
Exactly.
I must tell you that. It was excruciating, okay?
Almost like you wipe it from your memory.
You can't completely, just out of individual brilliance and that, big moments that we played well, I just sort of like, okay, let's just get this into 80, take the win and get off to Cardiff and kind of finish the season as world number 1, as world champions. So when I say world championship performance, I always felt we were calm. There wasn't a franticness about us. Calm, composed. It reminded me of Usain Bolt running against Johan Blake. And every time Blake thought he was just going to beat him, he'd edge his chest and say, "You're getting closer." You're getting closer.
But I said to you after the game, like, I feel like there isn't a player on that Boks 23 who played on Saturday who you can't pinpoint a moment where it was a highlight. They did something really great. Jesse Creel's positive tackle right at the end there. Dukes busting the line, putting Cheslin away. Obviously, the try scorers. Peter Steph's charge down. Earban's charge down. Like everybody. Atticus Name. Everybody had a moment. But when you say, well, what do you grade that performance out of 10? You're looking at between a 6 and a 7. So, result fantastic. And again, like I talk about us experimenting, and I think it's fabulous that we're doing it and winning. I think there are massive constructive benefits from doing that. I also just want to be realistic about the quality of the state of the rest of world rugby, because I cannot remember a time, mate, when the rest of the world was as meh as they are now.
I can. When the All Blacks were dominant and we were losing 57-0, we were apparently second best at that stage in terms of their opposition.
Really?
And it was when the Boks going to come back. So world rugby state has always been fairly consistent, but there have been exceptional teams. The All Blacks 2011 to 2015, an exceptional team. That All Black side, 96, 97, exceptional. That Boks side, 97, 98, exceptional. England 2000, 2003, exceptional. So when a team does dominate so emphatically, as this Boks side has done now, 23 from 27, 2 World Cups back-to-back, a rugby championship, British and Irish Lions series win, beating every team that's out there, we tend to, and I use the royal we now, we tend to also say, well, how strong is the opposition?
Yes.
We'll only know and really have an appreciation for just how good this generation of Boks has been when they're no longer there.
Truth.
And then it may be another side that's coming that's got a cycle. Like this French generation that went to the World Cup, it needed a particularly special group of players to knock them out of the World Cup, and that was us. By 1 point, 30-29 in Paris, because they would have gone and won that World Cup had they won that game.
Yeah.
They were a special squad that had been building for 2-3 years. Whether they ever get it back again to be at that level of frantic, French, fired up kind of like raw emotion and passion and brilliance, I don't know. But this is a special generation.
No doubt.
Of Springboks. It is, especially in the last 4 years, I would say, it is the greatest collective in the professional era of Springboks we've ever seen.
No doubt.
And I rank this side right up there with the McCall-Carter era of consistency and of brilliance.
Yeah, so it's certainly in terms of the depth that's been built there, the scope of this squad. This isn't hinging on one player. I mean, it's the breadth of talent there is incredible.
So I want you to acknowledge to yourself how good this squad is, and stop bemoaning how you perceive the rest of the world to be.
The point that I'm
terrible
making is when the All Blacks won in 2015, the Wallabies were still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And when the All Blacks won in 2011, the French were pretty good. And Ireland have been up there during that All Blacks reign. But I feel like now, Ireland are running out of Super Rugby.
No. Ireland lost for the first time in 19 tests at home in 4 years.
Yes.
So they're there.
But we agree, they're a team that's kind of on the
I
decline.
think they've plateaued, yeah.
Yeah.
France this is one of the best ever French teams we've seen in the last 3 years, okay?
Right.
All Blacks indifferent, but still top 5. Scotland, probably one of their best teams that they've picked, okay? What's happened is that the Wallabies have been so poor. Wales have been consistent because they're around 7, okay? So Argentina is probably the strongest they've ever been.
Argentina playing some good rugby.
You see, how many are we running out here now?
But they're not.
I think the world of rugby's never been so healthier.
Mate, I don't know. Look, the Boks are far and away the best team in the world by a country mile. I'll say that. And I think it's arguably the best teams, well, probably is the best squad South Africa has ever produced, and certainly pushing that great All Blacks team for dominance. I mean, they're about to win a 3rd World Cup. So
Where I think they've got it over that All Black squad is we do have 30 players now.
exactly.
I think they had 23, a wonderful 23. Potentially a starting 15 that some would say in certain positions they would edge. But when you look at the collective,
doubt.
Rassie's picked 50 players this season, Wilco being these 50th, in these 12 test matches. He's won 10 of them. He's lost 2 by 1 point. Been absolutely dominant.
Yeah.
He's played all the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
And we've never really looked troubled.
Where do you put the superstars in comparison? We've spoken about the breadth of the squad and them being the greatest for that collective. But, I mean, if you compare Dan Carter, Richie McCaw, those kind of guys to the best of this, Peter Steph, the Toys, the Chesons, the Ebbins.
Okay, so if you ask me in terms of best ever, like, world players, so Chesney will be right up there, okay? He's a freak. Pollard would come close. Why I would always say Carter edges him is Carter's more a Sasha and a Pollard combined. Peter Steph, class of his own. Peter Steph or Jerome Kino, I'm picking Peter Steph, where you'd think it's got to be a big player to be picked ahead of Jerome Kino, okay?
I'll take Peter Steph there.
Then Eben, you got to pick him. You got to pick our front rows. Oxenchair now, he's going to become one of the monsters of world rugby over the next 3-4 years. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Frans Malherbe at his best. It's been without comparison. You see the quality we got there with Wilco. And then obviously Bongi and Malcolm Marx compete with anyone in terms
Agreed.
of... So if you had to potentially put if I had to put a combined team together of that 23 players that played in the World Cup final in Paris and the 23 who played in the 2015 World Cup final, you're probably be looking at a 8-7 split.
So 8 South African forwards and 7 Kiwi backs.
Something like that. Yeah. No, so 7 forwards and McCaw.
I like it.
7 forwards and McCaw.
I like it.
Chesney and Colby and the rest of the All Black backline from there.
Love it.
That's not a bad team, eh?
Love it.
Not a bad team at all.
It's a great team, mate.
And now imagine what's coming off the bench. So, yeah, I mean, I think privileged to watch that All Black side play, as privileged to watch the Springbok side play.
Yeah.
And the funniest comment I heard over the weekend, for my sins, at 1 o'clock this morning, I needed to fall asleep, so I thought I'd watch the breakdown. Nothing nicer to watch the breakdown when New Zealand's lost and South Africa's won.
Not much to say.
And especially when they've lost by a point.
Yeah.
And we've won quite comfortably against the old foe, England. And the, what's her name? The
Melanie Robinson.
Melanie, yeah. No, it's not Melanie Robinson. It's the other one. Kirsty, whatever.
Oh, okay.
She asked the panel, which is Mills, Jeff, and I think it's Bates, who played a couple of games for the All Blacks. They show a New Zealand scrum that's very dominant. Tamatai killed that guy, okay? It wasn't Antonio he was up against.
Yeah.
This guy was not quite as good. And they showed the scrum, like, monumental for them, but it's our every scrum, every test.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? It's like they've got roller skates on the other side.
Yeah.
And she, deadpan, asked them, is there a scrum currently stronger in world rugby
Then what?
than the All Blacks?
No, mate.
And there was the silence, and Bates said, does the show go out to South Africa? Do they get this show in South Africa?
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Nice to see the All Blacks improving, but is there a scrum? There's 2 scrums that are the strongest in world rugby, and they both wear green jerseys.
Don Human runs both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you tend to get most of them playing in one game as well.
Correct.
You don't get all 16,
Yeah.
but you get a lot of them.
Sometimes you
Okay.
do.
And as the Boks would tell you, their hardest scrums are the ones they do on a Monday morning at training,
Yep.
and a Tuesday at training, those live sessions. So wonderful performance, and we're going to talk performances now because it's going to be part of one of our favorite aspects of the show, and you'll be introducing our power play.
Yes, let's do the Ryobi Stecco power play moments where Mark and I nominate some of the best moments from the weekend's Test rugby action and then settle the debate.
All right, we've got a lot of nominations because we pick 4 games, and we look at moments we thought were big, and then we eventually pick the moment. Yeah. And
Ryobi Stecco power play moments.
Yeah, and we still haven't got the big power tools to give to you or to give to that player. Wouldn't mind giving a player generator.
An extension cord.
Yeah. Here's your drill. Thanks for coming. Here's your stack hole drill. So, tools that last and the future. Just talking about the Boks, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Now, Ireland, Argentina. Let's get that game out the way, the early one, Friday night. I think we agree on the moment there.
Yes, we do. Juan Cruz Malia, the fullback from Argentina, slips out of 2 little tackles, steps Mac Hansen into another universe, and touches down for the Pumas.
I haven't seen too many people step Mac Hansen.
Exactly, mate.
I haven't seen too many people make Mac Hansen look like he should have stayed in Australia.
Exactly.
Played for the Brumbies.
No, that was fabulous. And that guy can play. He's a great player.
So that's our Argentina moment against Ireland. Ireland obviously winning that test 22-19. But wonderful to see the Pumas on the rise.
Who have you got from the All Blacks France game?
From the one of my personal favourites, Roy Gard.
Cam Roygard.
He's a good player. You know who he reminds me of? Just.
Oh, wow.
He's big. He's strong.
But Cam Roygard can pass.
Yeah, he can pass, eh? And he can smile. But he reminds me of Just in terms of athleticism.
Yes.
He keeps the opposition busy, okay? So we were fortunate not to play against him this season as well, because you know what does trouble us? Historically, 2 things have troubled a Bok pack: a big 8 and a very, very busy 9 who's willing to take you on.
I thought you were going to say an Australian ref, but okay.
And Richie McCaw.
Slightly.
And Dan Carter.
Jet lag.
But to me, that's just the way he did it. I think they went up 14-3 at that stage. And that's when I thought, okay, this will be interesting to see if they can build that lead, kind of get 3 scores ahead and make France desperate and see how France comes back. But they didn't. And that's where the growth area of this All Black side still has to come, is they still don't have the confidence at 14-3 to put the accelerator down. They are still trying to find themselves. They actually couldn't believe they were 14-3 up.
Totally. Well, Roygard, I mean, he's come back from that injury with a lot of muscles, mate.
He has,
Must have been eating all the right foods.
And he came back very early, but like Sia when he came back after 3 months.
Yeah. Anyway, he used that power to great effect, ripping the ball off Aldred from the back of a scrum and then just racing away for an outstanding solo try for the All Blacks. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, sorry about that. Now you're going to look up while I was having a sip of water there, mate. Having a water break. It's hot in here.
Yes,
okay, so we got him there.
Let's do
Wales and
Wallabies.
Wales and the Wallabies. So for me, the highlight for Wales was, I said to Ollie, wow,
anthems.
They can sing.
No, mate, those guys can sing. Don't play games. Those guys can sing.
So, you know what they remind me of at the moment? Inter-schools.
Yeah.
They always get Spirit Award.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. No medals.
No medals?
Yeah.
Every now and again you see one of those red vests in a final.
Yeah.
Some oak in the school's made the 800 meters final. You know he's coming 8th, but
Yeah.
but wow,
Yeah.
they just don't stop singing all day and chanting, and they're a fascinating crowd to look at as well, because there's like some odd-looking oaks there.
Really?
Yeah.
You're sure they're all the Oaks, mate?
No, mate, I'm just telling you, you just wonder a bit there, eh?
What does that mean?
Eh?
I don't know, but it's provocative.
And it gets people going, man.
Get the people going. So listen, that game, I'm definitely not going to highlight any Tom Wright tries. For me, the power play moment of that match was Len Ikita doing the, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go in. I'm going to go out, going to go in. Eventually, Cam Winnett just gave up, said, mate, just score the bloody try. let him in, and Ikita scored a great
So
side.
I love that because it also reminded me of maybe, I don't know, in this modern era, people wouldn't relate to it, but the game when I was still a young pup we used to play at school. Red Rover, Red Rover.
Love that game, mate.
Let that fat boy come over.
Didn't they know your name?
No. It was a little chunky oak, and I think, right, I got to go. Eh?
This is it.
I've got to go, but I've got this athlete in front of me, okay? The difference was that I would call a guy over and I would be the Welsh oak. And this oak would be, I'm going to go right, I'm going to go left, I'm just going to go over you. It reminded me of that. It was just, it was as sensational for old Lenny
Yeah.
as it was absolutely humiliating for the Welsh oak. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, imagine that's your highlight package defensively.
Mate, imagine playing for Wales and your surname is Winnett. I mean, it just doesn't happen. Ever.
What did you say? Win it? Never. Win it? Never.
Okay, the box.
Okay, now before we get back.
Yes.
Another highlight moment that I had
Yes.
was, who was the referee?
For which one?
The Welsh test?
Andrew
Brace?
Was it Dolman? I think it was James Dolman.
Oh. Stop it, mate! He's knocked out!
Oh, yeah.
Mate, he's knocked out! He's cold! Both of them gets up to scrum.
Yeah, both of them like, what are you talking about? I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. He said, but you're on the gold side. You're on
Carving a
gold side.
boomerang with that big knife, mate.
Do you know what's interesting there for me again? Because we look at all the referee interpretations and this nonsense about, again, a referee deciding a medical issue.
Mate.
So when a referee looks and he says degree of contact, not particularly harsh, or nothing there, but I could have whiplash and that's the end of me, but in the referee's mind or the match official, no degree of madness. This guy thought the oak was dead, poleaxed, okay, about to be buried. He gets up to scrum, what's the fuss? He stopped the whole game.
Jimmy Botha went in for a low tackle, mate. He almost joined the illustrious team of Harry Wilson, Ange Capuozzo, and
Tom Curry.
And there we go. And Witkant. Those three guys knocked out. Knocked out.
And there was no head. There was no heads anywhere near it.
Exactly, mate. Those three guys all went low tackles, all missed this weekend's action, tackling safely.
Did you see some of those head clashes that were not called as well?
Of course they're not called, mate.
No, but they went and he said, no, mate, what I'm seeing is a rugby thing. Yes, I agree with it, but then please be consistent and do it all the time.
Yeah, I see Moots came out in defense of Karevi. It was like, where was he supposed to go, guys? The ball carrier changed direction at the last one. Look, I'm all for it. When there's clear and blatant head contact, Oak goes out to hurt somebody, absolutely, send him off, deport him, I don't care. But when it's rugby, I mean, if you know anything about rugby, you know the difference between an incidental contact and something that's intentional. And anytime you have any doubt over which of those two it is, then it's a penalty. It's not a red card.
Yeah, I think this obsession with anything that glances the head, there's got to be common sense applied to it.
Totally.
Absolute common sense applied to
Mike
it.
Tyson's taken 10,000 shots to the head, mate. He's still boxing at 58.
Hey? Throwing 18 punches.
There you go.
Huh? Lured me in. One of the 65 million who went in to see how did these guys get to 8 rounds and make it look like a
I
sparring
can't believe
session.
you were telling me you thought Mike Tyson might win this fight. I mean, from the beginning, I've just been saying it's
No,
impossible.
exactly. Eh? I thought he'd win a lot of money. That's what I said to you. We knew there was only going to be one winner, and it wasn't boxing.
Mike Tyson's knee.
Eh? Mike, do you know who you remind me of? Ronnie Coleman when he came into the ring. Eh? For those who don't know, Ronnie Coleman was one of these great powerlifters.
Man, he was exhausted going up those 3 stairs.
No, but Ronnie Coleman is one of those great powerlifters. There's a whole Netflix documentary about him. One of the strongest guys in the world, just absolutely ripped. He's had 2 hip replacements, maybe 3. His knees are gone. I think he was 6 foot. He's now 4'2". It's like he's finished his body. Okay. Watching Tyson get in that ring, I thought Ronnie Coleman's there. Where's Tyson? Okay, with a big knee guard on. It's like his contract was that he wasn't allowed to throw a punch. Huh? He was allowed to throw 2 punches. Well, he's allowed to land. He was allowed to land 2.2 punches around to get to his 18 quota. 18, okay?
Mate, I knew there was a problem after the first round when he popped 2 of those osteo-ease tablets. I knew, shit, this guy's not ready for this.
Well, Jake Paul did give him an extra 5 million if he'd go past 4 rounds. You know what Jake Paul was saying to him? Don't knock me out before the 4th and you get an extra 5. But wonderful theatre. Great combination of WWE coming together with whatever. And it made me appreciate watching a rugby contest, watching the likes of the Boks, watching the All Black French game. And when I say watching, I mean watching it with absolute intent nuances and understanding. And in our big power plays, give the tools, shout out.
For who? Oh, for Ryobi Stecco.
Yeah, that's
Our
right.
power plays. We haven't even got to the box. There's
I'm
four
getting
of them.
there.
Oh, okay,
That's what
so
I
we
like.
need something.
I like the way
Holding
you
it
say it.
up. Ryobi Stecco.
Power tools at last.
There we go.
To the future.
Power tools that don't quit.
Don't quit, huh? I like that. Vroom, start up that generator.
There we go.
Okay, so every moment we could call was a great moment for the Boks.
The way the Boks drilled England.
They did, eh? Power. And you saw the future there. England coming second, South Africa coming first.
There you go.
All right, so let's first go through the 4 tries because they were all wonderful moments. Okay, so you had Grant Williams.
Oh.
And did he not make a statement to say, maybe I'm the number uno?
Exactly, mate. I don't think he speaks Italian, but he did pump fake. The whole line jumped. He went straight through, mate. Then he slowed down to almost a walk and stepped Freddie Stewart like they're playing walking touch. It was embarrassing.
He stepped Freddie Stewart into retirement.
Mate, he's gone. He's gone. I don't know how you come back from that, mate. Don't watch the replays. Yo, that was glorious.
But acceleration, we know he's got pace.
No,
He can play on the wing.
Wheels.
But the one thing, if you look at Jaden Hendricks, we always said he's technically a very good 9. Reinach's a good 9, explosive, but he's getting on. He's 34. Faf, we know his busyness, frantic, manic, defensively very disruptive. But this guy, even if a pack was going back, he asks questions. He will keep a defense busy, 2 or 3 players, one near the fringe, one at the backs, looking, because when he goes,
Gone.
Nano.
Nano back. Gone.
Shut the gate.
It was
bolted.
Incredible, mate.
So wonderful. I thought he was very good.
Very good.
I remember you texting me and telling me he was one of your like weighing up whether I felt in that first 60. I was also impressed with Grant Williams.
Yeah.
And I said I thought he was outstanding.
Very good.
When we were communicating there on the hour mark, huh?
I think it was
just
the
when
hour
Polly came and did his thing.
Yeah.
All right, so Grant Williams, then obviously just the Peter Steph to toy try. So the even charge down, the chase, the charge down again. Peter Steph. I thought that just summed up why this Boks side is special. 2 of the most seasoned campaigners, 2 veterans, both considered the best in the world in their positions, both 120 kilograms plus, refusing to give up.
Totally.
Chasing.
But like Eben was always going to go
Chasing
for
the
that
sun.
Charge down. He was always going to go for that charge down, old Eben, and that's what he does.
Oh,
Right? He
those
puts
big paws.
He puts pressure on the 9.
Those big paws.
Exactly. But for Peter Steph to be there to follow up.
But how's that? Imagine being the kicker and you see the big paws of Eben and you think, thank God, I've got it back. And you see bigger paws of Peter Steph.
Exactly.
But Peter Steph's acceleration to do the charge down, keep his line of running, and actually still score.
Incredible.
Yeah, that was just fantastic,
Yeah,
okay?
that was a great try, mate. Work ethic try.
All right. Obviously, the Mani Lebok cross kick. Cheslin
For
Colby's
me,
brilliant.
that's an underrated one. That's a very underrated one because Cheslin's eyes are on the ball. He's got to track it to catch it. In his peripheral vision, he's got to... I think it's Freddie Stewart who comes across there. So he's got to track where Freddie Stewart is. He's got to dip onto that right leg to make Freddie Stewart think he's going to go and then pull out as the ball lands. That's a tricky thing to do, man.
Well, if you see the reverse angle, so for those who may not know, Freddie Stewart's very tall. That's one of the big reasons they pick him, especially against a team like South Africa. He's always traditionally been their best player under the high ball.
Yes.
He wins the aerial contest 95% of the time. Cheslin Colby's composure to be prepared to take the tackle. His first priority was to catch the ball. And when he caught it, wow, that step, Zoop. Boom.
Freddie goes past.
Try
thanks for
time.
playing.
Try time. Freddie must have got a bit bored of seeing little South African Oaks go, hello, goodbye, because he was stepped both sides.
Exactly. He's still trying to catch a South African. Freddie was hugging South Africans on the subway on the way home.
And probably missed.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was another wonderful moment.
And then the fourth try,
Damian Delandi. Wow. Sonny Ball Williams tweeted, the most underrated in the sense of least spoken about Springbok. Underappreciated. That was his words, yes. To the Usu. Underappreciated. Kazibori? Underappreciated was Damian Delandi. Now, we've been saying direct Damian Delandi. He's the most effective when he's direct. Tony Brown says he's the best passer in that back line as well. He took out a centre and a loose forward.
Ran through them, mate. In the middle.
When I say took out,
Asterix.
he took the tackle, went through them, and still accelerated enough. And then the pass to Colby, outstanding.
That's the thing about him. I mean, earlier in the game, he does that thing where he's got to play the guy out the back door on a drift, and he's got a short option. And he gets the ball in traffic, there's some pressure on him, and he just gives a little nudge of the ball like this to sell the short line so the defender stays, the outside defender stays. And then it's just a flick of the wrist with that guy. I don't know how he does it. It's just a flick of the wrist. He zips this freaking drift pass, and they get around the corner. He did the same there. The quality of that pass wasn't probably as good, or Chesney had to jump and catch it behind him a bit. I'm sure Aiden, Damien's brother, would have been on text with him there, letting us down the family name. But fantastic, mate. Broke the line, great speed with the mark for an aging centre, and then found Cheslin, and Cheslin just worked his magic. Round
Right.
slide home.
Okay.
Try
So
time.
those are the 4 tries. Big moments in terms of the actual scoring, but the build up to the scoring.
I think those 4 Bok tries are the short list.
No, I've got something else for you, mate.
Oh, no, you don't. Who?
Of course I do.
What?
Andre Pollard must be getting a bit bored, of having to come on 60 minutes and get asked to kick a 50-meter penalty to turn the game back in South Africa's favour on a scoreboard. He must just wonder, can't you give me a 25-meter sitter, man? He's just stretching. It's like, 49 meters, let's go, 2019, England just believe in their heads that they're ahead, 2019, in a game that they were always 10 points behind.
They lost 32-12 in 2019, mate.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. And all of a sudden, penalty South Africa. On comes Pollard,
Yes.
posts, and he nails it. That was a big moment.
Huge.
Because it just killed anything that England may have had for 30 seconds. Straight away, we were 22-20 up.
Yeah.
Controlled again. The tempo, controlled the game. The Deolandi break, offload, Colby scores. But significantly in the context of this match, Ron side, touchline conversion, nails it. 27-20 becomes 29-20. England didn't look like they could score 1 score, let alone 2. And when you talk about significant power moments,
Power Polly.
but that's not my winner.
Ah, you must have.
I just wanted to always
That's a
acknowledge
great
him.
call, though. I think maybe they tell Andre, listen, you are not coming on until there's a 50-meter penalty. So when it happens, he's actually excited.
Keep him honest.
Yeah, keep him honest, mate.
But if we think in power play, we think in...
For me, that Duke's break and
That's
Chesney,
it.
that's the one.
Because it's power. To break those 2 tackles, and he didn't run over two little guys,
Exactly.
2 big guys, and to keep the composure of going the acceleration, is that our unanimous choice?
I think that is the choice, mate.
That moment of through
Completely
and go,
unbiased. It's that Springbok try.
which
Chesney
is we will
Colby.
try.
In the corner, mate, after Dukes breaks the line.
No,
Beats
but-
Ben Earl,
But
beats
who
Henry
gets the
Slade.
power play? It's Dukes,
I would say Dukes. I mean, he created it.
He created. So
Yeah.
that is our power play.
Yeah.
Through the tackle, offload. Would you like to do the honours and
No,
announce
you've done it. You've
who
done it,
wins
you've
the
done it.
generator?
Oh, the generator, mate. Listen, let's do our prizes. It's that
Oh,
moment.
yeah, prizes. Okay,
We
yeah.
forgot about that. Our
Prizes.
winner, our
Yeah.
Biltong winner.
Yeah, who's the Bolton winner?
Okay, the Biltong winner is Anton Beckerman from Piet Retief.
Yeah, interesting, eh?
Yeah. And then the Salu City hamper winner is Clay Brendan from Oosterloo. Clay Brendan Oosterloo from Alberton.
Okay, great. That's the Salu City hamper, and then obviously our Bolton friends who gave us some more Bolton dribbles,
Delicious.
nice beers, also some nice
How
wine.
many beers, mate? I actually didn't have any of those.
I gave them to Ollie. They went camping. He said he loved them.
Doesn't remember the weekend.
Yeah, he doesn't, but they managed to go to somewhere near Clanwilliam and watch the Boks. He said it was lovely just to see them beat
fantastic.
England.
Living.
In any case, mate, we always do a couple of shout outs. I want to do a little shout out to all the people that love us and come up and say hello to us and say, we're glad that the Boks won. Bokke by 10. As I said, we called it by 10, but we'll take 9 against England any day of the week. We took 1 at the World Cup. We'll take 9. A couple of shout-outs. Ace to put together something for us. That's Jean-Andre Joubert. He goes through, scrolls for us, finds some obscure places like Brakpan, Brackenfell, and Benoni. Anything else?
Not to mention Bali. We've got Colin Anderson watching from Bali. And then there's Dion Buerta. Hello, Keo and Ricky. Love your show and your absolute support for the Boks. all the way from Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea.
That's very nice,
And
eh?
there's George Pai again. Hola, from Juan Lecaza, Uruguay. I think we had him last week. And then there's Christelis here, all the way from Silicon Valley in California. And from Tanzania, Pemba, you guys are the manna, Dennis Martin. And how's it from Venlo in the Netherlands? Go Bokke, Real Pirate sent that message.
Real Pirates.
Real Pirate,
Johnny
mate.
Depp.
That's him, wooden
All
leg
right.
and all.
And then I got a really nice one here, from a young girl called Cindy Lowe, who stays out in Oranjezicht. She says, "Dearest Uncle Zels, my dad and I like watching the show with you and that old uncle." You and that old uncle. Hey, it's Uncle Keo. And old uncle, okay. Oranjezicht's right there, my bad. But our favorite part of the show is when you bring Uncle Ricky on.
Oh,
Can you please give my dad, whose name is Rob, and me a little hello from Uncle Ricky?
Is that from Cindy Lowe?
Yeah.
Okay. Cindy! And to your dad, Rob. Thank you so much for watching the show. We appreciate all the support we get here, and it's always special when we hear from our fans. Keep watching.
Well, you heard from Uncle Ricky there. Boks by 10. They won by 9. It's going to be a lacquer week. Rassie's picking the team tomorrow. We think it's going to be mix and match. We're going to be back on Wednesday morning to talk about the team, talk about the previews, and to tell you by just how many the Boks are going to win in Cardiff.
Again.
That's Wednesday. Enjoy today. Enjoy the fact that three of our Springboks, 3 of our iconic Springboks in the top 4 of world rugby when it comes to 15's Player of the Year. Sasha is one of the breakthrough players of the year. Great recognition for what he did in the Rugby Championship. And guys, Bokke by 10, it's always green and gold, and it's always so lacquer to beat England.